Saturday night, Lake Norman FitFest 2024. We got the advanced co-ed teams of 4, 2 men, 2 women, getting ready to take on Adrenaline out on the turf. It's a nightcap to a full day of competition here. We got a 2-rounder. They have some tandem running with a rope, 480 meters. It'll be 40 yards down for 40 meters down, 40 meters back, 6 rounds of that. Then they'll head to the hang cleans. You got 24 synchro hang cleans, 135 pounds on the bar. For the women, 205 pounds for the men. And then you got either farmer's carry or a yoke. The men will do the farmer's carry in round 1 and the yoke in round 2. The women will do the inverse. Farmer's carry in round 2, yoke in round 1. We're going to have 3 total heats in this division, as we've had throughout the day. They will reseed the heats for this division for tomorrow, but 5 of the top 6 teams are in the last heat already. They're kind of pre-seeded based on relative expectation. A few surprises as we'll get to. Teams are just getting fitted for the yoke here. It's a little logistical nuance in this one. They have to set the yoke for the women in terms of weight and height, and then the equipment team will change the weights and the height for the men as they go. So we will have, because of that, we will have some time between heats in this first heat here. So we're just getting everything set up. In terms of the overall competition so far, Team O Shoot is in the lead with 4 points. Carolina Collective's in second with 7 points, and we got Brute Squad and F-It will do it live on 12 points, tied for third. All those teams, like I said, will be in the final heat. And as soon as the teams head to the starting position here, we'll introduce you to the teams in heat number 1. This is a 2-day competition, several divisions here. Masters, intermediate, scaled. We got mixed gender teams, same-sex teams. Been competing since 8 o'clock this morning. It's currently 6:30 in the evening, so when everything's said and done, it'll be pretty close to a 12-hour day of competition. And they'll all be back at it tomorrow, a shorter day tomorrow. I think everything should be done by about 4 p.m. local time or so, which is really nice in terms of giving people the opportunity to get back at a somewhat reasonable hour, even if they're on the podium or competing in the last division tomorrow afternoon. We'll have 2 live streams tomorrow for the remaining 2 events. It should be around 11:15 and 2:30, I think, local time here on the East Coast. Teams started today out on the turf. They actually switched the order of the workouts based on a little bit of a weather delay. Or not a weather delay, just a little weather that came in and some drizzling. So they had a warm workout out here to start the day. And then they went indoors for a 2-parter, some gymnastics, ring muscle-ups, and handstand walking with kettlebell snatches for 1 pair, bar muscle-ups, sandbag cleans, and handstand walking pirouettes for another pair. And 300 points have been available so far. 300 points remain. Or excuse me, I guess it'd be 3 points available because they are open-style scoring. So half of those events have been done, and half of the events still remain. 14 total teams in this division. 4 in the first heat, 5 in heats 2 and 3. And if you've been watching this intro, it's a really long intro, and I apologize. I did not realize there would be this much changeover between this end of the men's RX division and the start of the advanced co-ed division. But kind of cool to see a little bit of the behind the scenes here, I suppose. Volunteers in the salmon shirts been working all day, as always, at these things. It takes a village. It takes a bunch of committed individuals. Come out here, judge, move equipment, scoring. Move our way down the turf into the shade. So we see the ropes that they're going to be running with. They're the white ones that are on the ground there. And then they've got the hang power cleans. The men's barbell's closest to us, 205 pounds there. Women at 135. all the other divisions have finished up for the day, so the crowd's cleared out a little bit, but it's been a really full and active day here at Denver Health and Fitness, hosting the 4th version of the Lake Norman FitFest. You don't actually have that many competitions that have, advanced or elite divisions of 2 men and 2 women. Do have some athletes in this division with a decent amount of experience on team, including at the CrossFit Games or the semifinal level. A few athletes who've competed at Wadapalooza on teams of 3 in the past. And of course, some of the athletes have individual accolades as masters and also as individual athletes. Just checking in with Mike Toscarelli there, man behind the Lake Norman Fit Fest. Joined us on a podcast earlier in the week. Go back and check that out if you want to learn about his vision, inspiration, team, and competition. He did a great job of giving us a little bit of the history and bringing us up to speed on where he's at this year. Competition's been growing every year, and this year he's also chosen to bring us out here and give me an opportunity to give you guys insight into what happens here in North Carolina, Denver, North Carolina, just north of Charlotte. Should be getting close here. Looks like the athletes are being sent down towards the starting area. So let's take a look at the athletes that are in heat number 1, the teams that are in heat number 1. Lane 1, Carolina Confections. Currently sitting 13th overall with 37 points. This team consists of Antonio Vandenberg, Bryce Edwards, Ashley Montequia, and Jordan Shea. Next to them is CrossFit MMC, 14th place on 38 points, 1 point behind that previous team. MMC's got Derek Van House, Ian McCluskey, Courtney Smith, and Haley Gearsall. Apex Black is the only team in this heat that is currently in the top 10. They're sitting on 9th place, 24 points. Caleb Sylvie, the taller gentleman on the right, Matthew Jordan, who had a great performance on the gymnastics earlier today, Lauren Bowers, and Deb Begonis rounding out the roster for Apex. And the Wreckage Kids, currently in 12th, 36 points. Dylan Burleson, Clay Robinson, Ariel Burleson, Abby Langben, the 4 athletes on this team. Throw the workout up for you. Oh no, the workout is still up on the screen, so you can see it there. It should be starting any second now. They're going to grab that rope, run the length of the floor together. That's 40 meters. They'll turn around and run back. That'll count as 1 rep. You got to do 6 total reps or 12 total 40-meter lengths to get to 480 meters. Upon returning to the barbells, 1 male and 1 female athlete will pick up the barbells and start in on 12 hang power cleans, synchro at the top, and then they'll make way for the other pairing to do it. Once they go to the strongman implements, that's where they'll divide into male-male and female-female pairings. The women will go to the yoke first. They'll have 400 pounds on the yoke. The men will have the yoke second, 540 pounds. The men will go to the farmer's carry first for 210 pounds. The women will then have 140 pounds. That's the total weight, I believe, including the weight of the implements. The distances for the farmer's carry is going to be 240 feet, so they're basically going to have to go down, back on the far side of the floor. The yoke will only be 120 feet, which would be 1 down and back. All of it will make sense when you see it, but that is the full rundown for those who are wondering. 2 rounders, so once they finish that, then they'll start the run again, the hang cleans again, and then they'll swap with the men going to the yoke and the women going to the farmer's carry. Equipment team will be on call. Just make those things happen. "12-minute time cap, starting in less than 10. Here we go. Final division, final event of the day here at Lake Norman FitFest 2024. 4 teams in this heat, 15 teams in this division, and they're going to run down and back 6 times with the rope here. 40 meters is one length of the floor, 80 meters is a down and back, 480 meters is required. Only the front athlete needs to get around the floor, and so you see different forms of communicating that for the different teams. Closest to it is the Wreckage Kids. They're leading the way, closely followed by Apex Black, MNC, and Carolina Confections. Not going to see a lot of separation here. The strongman implements, the farmers carrying the yoke, is going to probably be the biggest determining factor in this workout. Obviously, if you're a little bit better running, it can pay off. It's not an insignificant distance, almost 1,000 meters, but you'll see some athletes, pairings, or teams that struggle with those strongman implements and really get slowed down. Wreckage Kids continuing to lead. Opened up about a 20-foot lead on the rest of the teams in their heats. One more down and back for Wreckage Kids, and then they'll head to the barbells. "12 synchro hang power cleans required here, male and female pairs. And all that distance they made up is going to give them maybe a 2-rep, 3-rep lead. That's 2 reps. So 3-rep advantage. 135 pounds for the women, 205 for the men. And we see 2 teams, now 3 teams that have already set the barbell down. And all 4 opening pairs are going to take a break here. Hard to tell, but I think it's the men that are asking for the break for the most part. 12 reps done for Wreckage Kids. They'll swap out their pairings. Apex Black the same. You have to reposition your barbell on the crash pads. Saw Caleb Sylvie accidentally dump it off there. He and Deb Begonis done. Matt Jordan, Lauren Bowers have taken over the lead from the Wreckage Kids now here on the hang power cleans. They're taking a break as well. Carolina Confections swapping out their teammates. MNC, female athlete lost it off the pad. Male athlete holding that barbell for a long time, longer than is necessary. Don't want to do any more work than you have to here. Bowers off the pad. They should have to fix that. Either way, they're heading down there. And so the women are going to be on the yoke and the men on the farmer's carry. Deb Begonis taking the first length here. We'll catch up with the men. They have twice as much distance to make up here. Lauren Bowers is going to give this yoke a go. Matt Jordan bringing the kettlebells back. Deb's going to have to take it over for her here. Carolina Confections, right side of the screen in the red pants, has moved into second. So the women will be done. And they have to wait in the middle. for the guys. Apex Black has won relative to their heat on all of the scoring opportunities so far today, and opening up a lead here again. However, they're sitting ninth in the overall standings. They want to hold on to a top 10 spot and move into that second heat tomorrow. Matt Jordan gets it done. The equipment team will get to work, and Apex Black will head to the second round of this. We're at the 5-minute mark. It's a 12-minute time cap, so they definitely are on pace to finish within that time domain and again send a time to beat to the remaining teams. Other 3 female pairs working on the yoke here. Moving towards us in the pink shirt. MNC ladies looking strong. Apex Blacks working on their run. The only team who's gotten into that second round so far. Females for Carolina Confections are done. They have to wait for their men. Ooh, a little rain cloud coming overhead. And Carolina Confections moving to second place in the heat. And the equipment team will get to work there. So they're going to pick up their rope and get started on the run. Let's check in and see where our leaders are at. Three down, 3 to go.
They're on number 3.
Wreckage Kids bringing their farmers carries back for the second time, so they're third in the heat. And MNC's men working on the farmers carry as well. They'll drop it off and they'll head back to the barbell, or to the rope rather. So all 4 teams will be working on the run in round number 2. Here go Apex Black leading. Carolina Confections. Wreckage Kids, third in the heat, just about 20 feet ahead of MNC. Apex Black should have 1 more to go. Halfway done for Carolina Confections. You'll see them entering the screen far right side. Over there in lane 1. All right, heat 1 is all about Apex Black once again, who will finish up this run and get onto the barbell. Some familiar faces on this team. Podium athletes from the fittest of South Carolina. Caleb Silby taking second there. Lauren Bowers taking third in the men's and women's elite divisions respectively. But it's going to be Silby with Deb Begonis opening things up in terms of the synchro hang power cleans. Twelve reps for the opening pair there. Matt Jordan and Lauren Bowers will get to the barbell. No one else is to the barbell yet in this heat. Bowers says she needs to take a break. And we will have another team coming to join them now. Carolina Confections over there in lane 1. Female athlete in the red pants. Male athlete with the gray tank top. Another break for Apex Black. Wreckage Kids is on their last run. Back up so we can bring them into the frame here. It's going to get interesting though, because these guys, Apex Black is about to finish up the cleans. 2 other teams coming back. And we'll track the leaders. Matt Jordan trying to implement a little bit of strategy there, saying, I'm just going to wait for him to bring the yoke to me. But she says, no, you got to go down. So Sylvie will get underneath the 540-pound yoke. Just a little bit off balance there. Definitely has the core strength for this. All you got to do is get any part of it across the line. Caleb says, I can help if needed. Again, the women will have to do twice the distance. And for the most part, it's been the yoke getting done before the farmer's carry. Matt Jordan definitely wants to help here. It's a heavy yoke. There he goes. Now a lot better midline stabilization there. He's going to get it basically the entire way. Caleb Sylvie will just finish it out for him. And as he does that, the women drop it off. And 10-15 unofficial. So basically an even split on their rounds. See what the judge got. Yep, 10-15 says the judge. Apex Black 4 for 4 in terms of beating their heat on the opening day of competition here. And I feel that they'll probably move into the second heat tomorrow. Nice work by Apex Black. We got about a minute and 15 seconds to the time cap. All three of the other teams are still working on these hang power cleans in round 2. See if we can get anyone to the strongman in the final minute of heat number 1 here of adrenaline.
1 minute.
Let's go.
6 reps left for the wreckage crew here. MNC tags in their second male. Across the Carolina Confections in the far lane, they've been at this barbell the longest, and you have to think that they're close. And there we go. They did finish it up. We got 30 seconds to go. Let's see how they can do here. Male athlete gets 1 segment done. Female athlete in the red pants moving away from us. Looking real strong on the farmer's carry. She's going to get a full length.
Don't stop. Don't stop.
Last 10 seconds. And they'll get 60 feet. The girls with 5 seconds to go will get 120 feet. So I'm not exactly sure how they'll count it, but it should be Carolina Confections with 120 feet on the farmer's carry, 60 feet on the yoke carry for the second round. But Apex Black, story of heat 1 throughout the day today. 10-15 will be their score or their time, and that'll be the time to beat. And they were pretty even splits, about 5 minutes on the first half, leaving about 5:15 on the second half. And when you count that little run back, overall, you got to say that was a well-executed event for Apex Black. Heat 2 of 3 is coming up. It's going to be a full heat of 5. Give you a refresher on the workout if you are interested in that. We got a lot going on here, but it's basically a 2-round workout of running, synchro hang power cleans, and some strongman work. The running is 480 meters per round. They'll do it in a team of 4 holding a rope. It's 40 meters down, 40 meters back. Apologies for that. That's maybe a beautiful skyline back there. So they'll go down and back 6 times to finish out the 480 meters. At the barbell, they'll split into male-female pairs and do 12 synchro hang cleans with 135 and 205 pounds. After that, they'll split into male and female pairs. And in the first round, the men will hit the farmer's carry while the women hit the yokes. And then they'll switch. The farmer's carry weight for the men is 210, for the women is 140. The yoke weight for the men is 540, for the women is 400. You always have to move the yoke 120 feet and the farmer's carry 240 feet. 12-minute time cap. We had 1 team finish in the first round, and it was Apex Black in 10-15. Carolina Confections got to the strongman implements and got some of the work done, about half the work done actually. Exactly half the work done before the time cap hit. Most of the teams seem to still be out at the yoke getting things going, but let's take a look at who we got here. In lane 1, which is this lane, Freedom Point Black. Currently in 11th place. Team consisting of Robert Kramer, Sean Leffler, Claire Sherman, and Bailey Leffler.
That was 400. We got that.
Next to them in lane 2, we got Black Sheep. Black Sheep is coming in a tie for 5th place on 17 points. Sisters JC and Jesse Kuhlman on this team, along with Frank Minorini and Owen Bernstein. And they've been looking good. 5 teams will make that final heat tomorrow. They're currently in a tie with one of the teams that's in that final heat. So they're looking, okay, that is not, I don't know what to do about that. God. Oh, sorry about that. Middle lane, Freedom Point. We got Ryan Winkler, Tyler Brandenburg, Jenna McVeigh, and Morgan Kane.
Our second heat of Arts Co-Ed in lane 1.
Currently in 8th place on 23 points. Struggled with the worm this morning, have been much better on the gymnastics. Let's see how they handle some of the heavy implements here. Lane number 4, the Gritty Spindles, Nathaniel Martinez, Walt Smith, Carden Laffer, and Haley Stewart. Currently in a tie for 12th. Looking to inch towards that top 10. And Double Date, currently in 6th place on 18 points. They're 1 point behind that two-way tie for 5th. So I guess they're in 7th place. And 1 point out of 5th. This team consists of Robert Yates, Justin Viewing, Karen Cox, and Ellie Stewart. They were really good with the worm. Wow, I might have to just abandon this gimbal. That happens one more time, I'm probably going to do that. Looks like the floor is set. Teams are all at the starting position. We should be starting any second here. Heat 2 is off and running. They got the ropes. They got 480 meters to run as a team of 4. It's the front athlete that must get across the line on either side. It's 40 meters down, 40 meters back, 6 times to get to that 480 total meters. Let me just leave it on this shot right here. Beautiful North Carolina sky in the background. Double Date and Gritty Spindles out to about a 10 or 15 foot lead over the other 3 teams, but no real separation yet. And we saw in the first heat that even getting about a 40-foot separation only yielded 3 reps on the barbell, and that was absolutely not where this workout was run or lost. It pretty much came down to, it ended up coming down to the hang power cleans for some of the guys in that heat, and then the ability to move the strongman implements between the farmer's carry and the yoke well. That made much more of a difference than the run. Far left side, Double Date, and then next to them, Gritty Spindles continuing to lead. Middle of the floor, Freedom Point CrossFit, hanging just off the back shoulder of the leaders. Freedom Point Black in the far right, a couple steps behind them, and currently bringing up the rear are Black Sheep. But I'm not too worried about the Black Sheep team. Some strong athletes on that team. They've shown some fitness already. And I would not be surprised if when it comes time to move the barbells, the yoke, and the farmer's carry, if they can easily account for the 30 or 40 foot difference. Final one, final down and back for all the teams, and then they will head to the barbells. Taylor Self stalking the competition floor. We'll change our vantage point here. Try to get the barbells in frame for you. Gritty Spindles, double date, pick them up at the same time. Middle of the floor, Freedom Point CF, and far left side, Freedom Point Black. Both teams coming down from Ohio, only about a rep behind. And keep your eye on Black Sheep. Frank Minerini in the blue t-shirt there. I believe with JC Coolman. And they're done with 12 reps before some of the teams that started before them. So let's see who leaves this area first. Bernstein and Jesse Coolman looking very confident with the barbell. Ooh, and potentially a little injury for Freedom Point on the left side. One of that male athletes grabbing his hamstring. And as expected, Black Sheep heads out of there, but Freedom Point crossed it right behind him. So we got a dead heat here. And let's see how it goes on the yoke for these ladies. Coolman sisters off and running. $60 feet done for them. Jenna McVeigh on the yoke for Freedom Point. She'll drop it off. 60 feet done for her. And all the other teams are moving, but man, that athlete over there for Freedom Point limping with the hamstring. It's probably going to be just about it.
Nice, Haley.
The women are done. Owen Bernstein has the farmer's carries up and is heading back towards us here in the black tank top. He'll drop him off, and at the 4:15 mark, Black Sheep, who was last off the run, is first back to it. They also have a 45-second split, faster relative to Apex Black from Heat 1. And there they'll go. And Minerini goes, let's effing bury them. Send a message. Freedom Point will maintain the second spot there. What side they're going to run down. Trying to see. There go the leaders. Nice positive encouragement there from Morgan Kane for the Freedom Point team, saying we got this as they take off on their run. This post up here while his teams are running, stay out of the way. Still only two teams that have gotten to this second run, and as we say that, two other teams are heading down towards us. So the leaders in the first run, Double Date and Gritty Spindles, are both getting to the second run at the same time. Not sure where the holdup was, but giving away some ground on the weightlifting components of adrenaline relative to Freedom Point, but especially to Black Sheep. Half of the run here in round two is done for Black Sheep. Down and back 3 more times for them. Far right side of the floor, leading the way for Freedom Point Black is the male athlete who's been struggling with the hamstring. He is able to give a little bit of a jog, and this is an athlete that I've watched throughout the day who just competes with passion, competes with energy. And if something like that happens, it's just deflating, especially when you've made the trek down here. About a 7-hour drive from Ohio to compete. So wishing him the best. He's clearly a fighter also going on, but tough to see it. Freedom Point turns for another down and back. They should have 2 to go. Last one coming up for Black Sheep. Left side of the screen, Freedom Point, no, excuse me, Double Date and Gritty Spindles are still kind of in lockstep. Really has not been much between them this entire time. One more for Freedom Point, but the leaders of the heat, Black Sheep, coming in, and we'll head to the barbell. Frank and JC wasting no time, and this is where they made the difference. The sets of 12 hang power cleans have stopped a lot of teams in their tracks. All 4 of these athletes showing great capacity with the barbell in the first round of this workout. And good controlled descent. 12 reps done for Frank and JC. Owen and Jesse will take their turn. See Jesse looking over at him. Kind of casual at the 135. Freedom Point has made their way to the barbell. Love to see that. Putting it back where it's supposed to be. Let's stay with the leaders here because they're going to set a time that's competitive, and they will also be sending a message to that last heat, in particular to Spindle City. And Frank Minorini says, 540-pound yoke. I eat this for breakfast. My goodness, he's going to finish 120 feet all by himself. Owen Burns, easy day. Now the girls have 3 lengths of the floor to go here. Running with the weight, Jessie Kuhlman. So has her sister pick it up and go. Down and back's all that remains. We'll catch up with Freedom Point in a second. They're still on the barbells. 8:40 on the clock. Can they get in under that 9-minute mark? Seems like the answer is going to be yes. 8:50. Black Sheep sending a message to the final heat.
Let's go.
Here comes Freedom Point CrossFit. Girls will go to the farmer's carry. Men will head to the yoke.
Let's have our water, Jesse. Let's go.
Girls will get off and running with the farmer's carry. That yoke, I'm telling you, what Frank Minorini just did, that is not what you're going to see most of the athletes doing. There may be a couple others, but this is more like it. This is still a strong carry. And 60 feet, well done there. Girls have done 120 feet, so they're pretty much where they want to be here. Don't get the time until both of them are back. A little bit all over the place, but moving fast. And he's going to knock out 60 feet as well. So the men on Freedom Point taking care of business with the yoke. 60 feet to go for the ladies. Jenna McVeigh drops them off, and she's going to pick them up again. Morgan Kane moving with her. But Jenna McVeigh is going to finish this in style. And 10-12, which will be 3 seconds faster than the Apex Black team. So it probably didn't know it, but a nice finish ahead of the previous time to beat there for Freedom Point. We got 2 sets of ladies over here working on the farmer's carry. The men for Double Date have finished up the yoke. The men for Gritty Spindles have 60 feet to go. Is this it? When they get back, are they done?
Yeah.
All right, last 60 feet for the women here on Double Date. We are approaching the final minute of the time cap. We're going to have a 4th team finish. Oh, she drops it with about 8 feet to go. One more deadlift and a few shuffle of the feet, and they'll get across 11:02 unofficial. The men for Gritty Spindles drop off the yoke, and the women are coming back for the final time. Oh, the artistic shot. Boom. She'll drop it off 11:17 unofficially. They'll get in under the cap. 5th team to do so. And male athlete for Freedom Point forced to do all of the work on his own here with the yoke. Thankfully, he looks like he's pretty good at it. Got less than 30 seconds and 60 feet to go. That is his teammate next to him. Both of them know what the situation is.
Come on.
And we see this every competition we go to, every division where somebody just steps up and does something superhuman. And in this case, he's going to get that 60 feet done with 3 seconds to spare. You guys you finished it, right?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Wow, so despite an injury there, they still got in under the time cap. Hate to see that, but man, what an effort from Freedom Point Black. Still getting in under the time cap, about 11:58. Final heat taking the floor as the lights turn on here at Denver Health and Fitness. Travis Williams bringing his Saturday best to the competition floor. We got the top 5 teams taking the floor here. But for one of them, it's a battle for that 5 spot, and what Black Sheep just did is going to leave them wondering about a spot in the final heat tomorrow. Will Farquharson there. Here comes Brandy Airy, T. James Henderson, and Teresa Puckett. This is the Spindle City team that comes in on that tie for 5th on 17 points. They were tied with Black Sheep and only 1 point ahead of Double Date. So a lot of volatility there at the 5, 6, 7 marks. Right here, late addition to the team field. Great addition to the team field. Mackenzie Riley, Alexis Johnson, Taylor Self, and Travis Williams. They're currently in 3rd overall, 12 points. Team right ahead of them is the Carolina Collective. Kevin Sinos, Hunter Williams, Stevie Dellinger, and Lindsay Lane. They're on 7 points. They're trailing only one team. It's a team called Oh Shoot. Lee Sherem on the right there, Luke Burns, who was added to the roster this week in replacement of Evan Rogers, and he's been great. Bryn Carrick and Hannah Hardy are the ladies on this team. They're on 4 points, having finished 1st, 2nd, and 1st so far on 3 events, and it looked great. And outside lane, we got the Brute Squad. They're in that tie for 3rd and 12 points as well. They're in 4th technically due to a tiebreaker. Taylor Self and Mackenzie Riley taking a win on an event earlier. Brute Squad's best finish has been 2nd place. This team consists of Ben Sexton, Michael Kelly, Amanda Steinhaus, and Melody Honecker. Teams making last-minute adjustments, talking with their judges. Give you a reminder of the workout. It's a 2-rounder, 480 meters running. The turf is 40 meters long, so you pick up that white rope. All 4 of you run 40 meters down, 40 meters back. That's 1 rep. 6 of those gets to 480 meters. You leave the rope. You go to the barbells. Male-female pairs on the barbells. 12 synchro hang cleans. 205 pounds for the men, 135 pounds for the women. Then you'll go to male-male, female-female pairs as you get to the strongman. In round 1, the men will have the farmer's carry, 240 feet at 210 pounds, while the women have the yoke, 120 feet at 400 pounds. They go back to the ropes, back to the barbells, and when they come back to the strongman in the 2nd round, the women will go to the farmer's carry. Well, they'll have 240 feet, but at 140 pounds. And the men will have the yoke, 120 feet, 540 pounds. Leave that up there for you guys to digest it.
In lane 1, Spindle City. In lane 2, Evan, we'll do 5. In lane 3, Carolina Collective. Lane 4, Oh Shoot. Lane 5, Brute Squad.
So we got our 1-2 right here, leading on 4 points, right side of your screen. On the left, 7 points, 2nd place, Carolina Collective. Outside of them on either side are teams that are in 3rd place, tied on 12 points. And all these teams going to be looking to strike.
12-minute cap. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
Last minute instructions from Taylor to his team there, and all the teams are off. We'll filter out of the way as they get set in on 480 meters of running as a team. 40 meters down, 40 meters back. Lindsay Lane leading the charge for the Carolina Collective in the blue shorts. Lee Sherem on the left leading for Oh Shoot. And they've already opened up about a 15-foot lead over the two teams that come in on third place. Now, we did see in heat number 2, Black Sheep was last amongst their heat off of the run and ended up taking the heat win by about 90 seconds. They have the time to beat at 8:50. 5 other teams have finished underneath the time cap. The next fastest of those teams coming in at a 10:12 mark, which was Freedom Point CrossFit, 3 seconds ahead of Apex Black from heat 1, who came in at 10:15. Outside lane there is Spindle City. They're the team that was tied with Black Sheep, and we'll be keeping an eye on them to see if they can maintain a spot in this final heat. Halfway done at the minute mark for the leading teams. Brute Squad's going to be third, about 7 seconds behind, and Travis Williams tags the line 2 or 3 seconds after them. Spindle City's going to get there. So they've given away about 15 seconds in the first half of the run. Whenever there's a team rope running competition, you always wonder about how people strategize that. So, you know, traditionally speaking, your slowest runner is your time. In this case, you can have 2 pullers, the leaders. You know, so you see Lindsay Lane here, and then Kevin Steinhaus leading the other way. And you look at Oh Shoot next to them with Lee Sharon and Luke Burns, the 2 male athletes on either end. You see that Taylor and Travis have done the same. For F-It, we'll do it live. So just a little bit of a nuance there. 2:05 is a split for 480 meters there for both of these teams. Lee and Hannah will get the barbells up just ahead of Hunter and Stevie. Coming into your screen on the right is going to be the Brute Squad, and on the left you're going to see F-It will do it live. So the top 4 teams coming in, first 4 teams back here, about 20 seconds. Separated first and second from third and fourth. And the barbell in the far right there for the Brute Squad just looks a little bit heavier for Michael Kelly compared to some of these other guys. Now, Riley and Travis Williams will make way. Taylor Self and Alexis Johnson coming to the barbell. I know there's a lot of people in the way, this guy in the white shirt, but Alexis Johnson was telling me that it's the weightlifting that she's most concerned about in terms of everything based on the fitness she's been doing. And let's see if they can knock out these last 2 reps. And she does it. So we got a race on our hands. F-It will do it live did in fact move ahead of the Brute Squad. The second pairing for the Brute Squad right here, Amanda Steinhaus and Ben Sexton, looking much more smooth. 2 reps to go. Mackenzie Riley working on the yoke there. 400 pounds. The girls for the top 2 teams have dropped the yoke off. And Mackenzie's going to turn around and walk it back again. Taylor Self drops off the farmer's carries at the halfway point. Melanie Honecker moving with the yoke on the left side of your screen. Teresa Puckett off camera on the right side of the screen. And we're looking to see who's got the lead here, and it is the overall leaders, I believe. Luke Burns going to drop it off at the 3:57 mark, so sub 4 minutes. They're ahead of the split time. Kevin Steinhaus about 5 seconds behind there. Hunter Williams, though, jogging up behind them. We saw Hunter have a little bit of a problem earlier on the worm and slowed his team down a bit. Taylor Self, well done there to finish up the carry for the F-It will do it live team, and they've closed the gap a little bit. We'll keep an eye on Hunter and see if Taylor and the crew are able to pick him off here in the second half of this workout. But your leaders coming in, they look strong here. And when you think about a teams of 4 competition, you know, you really can't afford to have a weak link. And you'll see Hunter Williams here maybe struggling a little bit compared to his teammates, and his teammates obviously are exceptionally fit. But Luke Burns, who filled in late for that Shoot team, has really held up his end of the deal. Brute Squad, left side of the floor, just gets started on their run. Was that 2 or 3? Was that 2 or 3? 2. There'll be 2 lengths behind. And Hunter hanging tough here. Carolina Collective closing the gap a little bit. They're only about 10 meters behind or so. F-It will do it live, holding the 3 spot. And Spindle City is on the outside. They are on the run. They're last in the heat, but we got to keep their score relative to Black Sheep in mind. Again, Black Sheep came in tight on points on it with them, and they have the current time to beat at 8:50. I don't know if Spindle City's got that in the tank, but we'll see. Maybe they can close strong. Mackenzie Riley tags and makes the turn with her team. Amanda Steinhaus going to do the same on the left side of the screen. 2 more for, oh shoot, 2 more for Carolina Collective, who are holding their own here on the run. So approaching the final running interval here for the leaders in the heat and in the competition. Sharon will make the tag, and there they go. Lindsay Lane looking exceptional. She'll make the tag and go as well. Now, Lindsay Lane, if you didn't get a chance to see her last year at Crash Crucible, worth a watch. Bit of a surprise winner, but certainly a top-tier athlete. May have also seen her take on the quarterfinals workouts with Steve Sagafi and the guys over at CrossFit Crash. So Sharon and the crew will drop it off. Will they have any advantage at all on the barbell? Let's see. And it is 1 rep, 2 reps for Sharon and Hardy, 3 reps, so a 3-rep lead. It's Lane and Steinhaus kicking things off for Carolina Collective. And it's going to be Williams and Riley picking up the barbells for F It Will Do It Live. 1 more length for Brute Squad, so these 3 teams have a clear separation. 12 reps done. Sharon and Hardy solid once again. Burns and Carrick waste no time and pick it up. And they're going to have 3 reps as Williams and Dellinger get it off the ground. 1 more rep for Williams and Riley, and they'll make way. Taylor Self and Alexis Johnson will do the second set of 12 here. And last rep at the same time, we got a dead heat. And last rep for Self and Riley. And here we go. Wow, Lee Sharam this is not the position you want to have underneath the yoke. That's all over the place. Now, Kevin Steinhaus looked pretty solid. But ultimately, you're only as fast as your girls on this one. Travis Williams working on the yoke right side of the floor. And let's see here. Luke Burns is going to drop it off at the 8:05 mark, so they'll be done. But we're going to have a freaking close race here. Carolina Collective 8:14, oh shoot 8:15. 1 second and 1 point that the Carolina Collective will chip away into the overall lead. Couldn't really be much closer there. Hell of a battle by both teams to close it out. It'll be a 2-point margin with 2 events to go. Now we're looking at the 8:50 mark. F It Will Do It Live looking to break that 3rd place tie. And they're going to get it in underneath the time to beat. They'll take 3rd overall in the event, and they'll maintain that 3rd overall position overall on the leaderboard, about 15 seconds ahead of the previous time to beat. Spindle City has moved ahead of the Brute Squad. Brute Squad's male athlete, like I mentioned earlier, was struggling with the barbell, and they're still caught up back there. Black Sheep is now in the clubhouse with the 4th place overall score. And now we start to look at Brute Squad. Remember, they were on 12 points. If they can't get off that barbell, there were some other finishers. They are off the barbell, though. So Spindle City, men are done. Women have 120 feet to go with the carry. Brute Squad's women over there working on their first 60 feet. 2 down and backs for them. Teresa Puckett, bit of a compromised position, but the grip looks strong. And Teresa will get 60 feet done. Brandy Aries going to step inside and pick him up. Deadlift looks good. Slight forward lean here. See if she can get across the line for the 5th best time overall. 9:51, that should be good enough for 5th place. Michael Kelly working on the last few feet here. Gets it in. Melody Honecker drops it off, 10:06. And actually that will be 6 seconds faster than the second previous score to beat. So it should be 6th place overall. And top 5 teams here. Only the Black Sheep team, who is also in the top 6 coming in, will sneak in between. Black Sheep should pip up 1 point ahead of Spindle City into the final heat for tomorrow with the reseed. But going into tomorrow, Oh Shoot on the left will have a 2-point lead over Carolina Collective. Second event win of the weekend for those guys. They'll chip 1 point away at the lead, and we got a good battle going on at the top. Lindsay Lane saying hi. Spindle City with a strong finish there. Effet will do it live, taking third and breaking the deadlock with Brute. Brute did get the job done in the end. They finished 6th overall. It'll still be a solid finish for them, and they'll be in this top heat tomorrow. So 1 day of competition done here at Lake Norman FitFest. 1 day to go. 4 scored events today, 2 scored events tomorrow. We'll be back around 11:15 a.m. East Coast time for the penultimate event, and the final should be about 2:30 tomorrow. For Mike Coscarelli and the entire crew here at Denver Health and Fitness, thank you for being with us today. My name is Brian Friend, and we will see you tomorrow.